Why, hello there everybody, this is Revan speaking, and today I'm showing off with a bit of a video about this Adobe Premiere issue going on with the video lag playback. Now, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, I will show you an example. So this is a video that I compiled years ago, and I was in the middle of re-editing stuff, and I was trying to keep myself up to date. Now, I'm using Adobe Premiere 2021 and I'm loving it, and the application is very good. However, most recent updates has got me, scratching my head a fair bit in the past couple of weeks. But this is something that I came across that I was pretty annoyed about. So that was pretty painful to watch, wasn't it? You just see video stuttering, audio stuttering, everything's going pear-shaped, and you wonder what the hell has happened. First step is if you're using an Nvidia graphics card, make sure your graphics card is up to date. That is the first thing you do. Reopen the application for Adobe and then try it again, Adobe Premiere that is. And if it happens again, even though you have the latest drivers, check the software updates. Make sure that you have done your software updates as well. And if those two steps are done and it's still happening, this is what you need to do. Step 1. When you go to the spanner settings here, click on that and see if you can try and turn off high quality playback. So high quality playback, nothing happened. Okay, so put it back on. Next step is that you go to Edit, Preferences. Go to General, because I'll discuss about this in depth. So basically you have a whole heap of features that's in Adobe Premiere that you may or not be aware of. So what you need to do is that the first step is clear up your media cache. So with your media cache, see where it says remove media cache files, click delete. If you have both options available, basically what you need to do is select delete all media cache files from the system, click on that and click OK. Or if you prefer not to, go delete unused media cache files and click OK. Once that's been deleted, then you close Adobe Premiere, reopened it, and tried using it again, and it still happens, then the next plan. So back into the steps of going Edit, Preferences, General. Now this is what you need to do. Check on the playback, see if there's anything out of the ordinary. Nothing out of the ordinary. It's all by default, which is great. Timeline is okay. Trim is okay. Memory is another one that I go with. Now memory, it depends what's available in your system, okay? So in this case, my machine has 64 gig of RAM. That's a lot of RAM. And even if you had 32 gig of RAM, I consider it's plenty. But feel free to reduce it to whatever is recommended. I would say 6 gig is plenty, so that you can try your troubleshooting, close the application, reopen it, and if it doesn't work, then come back into preferences on the memory, try on the memory, and then optimize rendering for memory so it's set to that, and leave it at 6 gig, for example, like this. And then click OK, apply the changes, and then just run with it. Now, since that I have my machine the way it is already, I'm happy with it. So what you need to do is that you're thinking about your drivers updates for your graphics drivers or your video card. Have you updated them? The answer is yes. Have you done any Windows updates? Yes. Any MAC OSX updates? Make sure you do that as too if you're doing Mac as well. Now, this is the real tricky part because it had me scratching my head a fair bit. So I was thinking on the sequence settings, and notice that, you know, like on my sequence settings, I have everything I wanted. I'm very happy with it, okay? And, you know, at the end of the day, I was just like, going like, okay. It's nothing to do with that. So I'm going to like cancel. And then what I do is go edit, preferences, under general. Let's go under media. Now, if you're an Intel user and you've been using the latest, most recent Intel CPUs or any Intel version to begin with, you will have a category for your video card here for the Nvidia. If you have an Nvidia graphics card running on your Intel system, you will have this, and basically you have like Intel box here, an Nvidia box here. They'll probably not be grayed out. They'll probably be available for you to disable. But if you disable the decoding like so, like this, and click OK, close Adobe Premiere and get it back open, it does work in some ways. Some people were lucky, some were not. However, and it's a weird one because like it's like either like Nvidia stuffed up with the GPU update drivers for the accelerator for the Adobe Premiere, or Adobe Premiere did not patch it correctly. So I'm gonna click cancel on this one because like I already have it working with the encoder. So going back one more step, edit, preferences, general. This is something that I considered as a last resort, and I don't know how come and why, but it worked. So when I was looking at it tirelessly, I went through audio hardware. Notice that in the audio hardware that you have a whole heap of, you know, like digital default inputs, outputs and stuff, right? And the clocks and things like that, latency. Well, I'm gonna say this much. I did not change the latency. I did not change the default output or the clock. But if you go to input, default input, change to no input. Click yes, because it'll prompt you, asking you device changes can modify the mappings, import assignments, and affect playback, recording, etc. When I put it to, let's just go back here, the default that I had beforehand, and then select to no input. It will prompt you a question asking you, did you want to really go ahead with this? The answer is yes. I mean, like, you have to make the change. Click to make the change, click OK. So, if I were to play that right now, the video as it is, so as you can see, that was actually pretty much, you know, spot on, working fine. So that was with all the overlays and everything. But here, watch this. So that is, you know, smooth gameplay, video gameplay right there. And it is actually, you know, pretty easy. In comparison to, I'll show you what happens if I turn it off. And put it back to the default. Click OK. Okay, that is painful, but that is all the video starting with it on, you know, with the audio input on. So what I would encourage you to do is that if you have tried other steps and they're not working, last resort, go here, go to preferences, general, audio hardware, default input, no input, turn it off, apply the change, click OK. And enjoy the video editing. So that is the gist of it. So yes, if you're wondering about that and you're not 100% sure on how to do it yourself, feel free to ask any questions. AMD users who have come across this one here, as well as Intel users, the most common one is to disable the, like the default audio input. But as I said, the other most common thing that people have been finding is actually under media and this hardware codec, and basically they disable the decoding one, turn off the application, close the application, restart it. It seems to work fine. But if you have it turned off, for Intel users, have turned off the Intel and Nvidia at the same time and tried it and it works, that's more power to you. AMD users will not have this appear on their system. It's a bit of a shame though, because I would love to see word AMD. But look, that is pretty much how I resolved it. But yeah, if you have any issues, folks, and if you found this video helpful, feel free to pass it on to your friends, let people know, and then take it from there. But yeah, happy video editing, my friends. Have a good one.